if you just grab an app, right, Payne, you just grab an app right now and you start doing some sports betting, you're probably gonna lose. You know what I mean? Because you don't even know the fighter who's fighting, or you don't even know, right? The Celtics don't win on the road without that's just like you don't do that. But people that are into that stuff, man, you know what I mean? You got to give them their props, because they study that stuff. They're all up in there. They see people count their money, Payne, but they don't. They count their wins, but they forget their losses too quickly. So
Correct.
like when you go to the casino, oh, bro, I won $1,500. It's like, yeah, but you've gone for 8 years, right? You
Right.
haven't stopped going. You always get a buffet, right? For you and your wife, or you and your girl, you always get a buffet.
Yeah.
You and your boys, you always buy drinks,
Oh, gotta have them.
right? You always spend gas to get there, spend
Yes.
time to be there.
Hmm.
You always go home losing 100, 200, 300. So if you really sat down and wrote this down a ledger, you're still negative, bro. That $1,500, they're just giving you something back. So guess what? They just bought you another 10 years. You're gonna keep coming back because that one time you won $1,500.
Yeah, it's a psychological game.
Yes.
And my major right now is behavioral science. And what I understand is how cognition uh, develops our behaviors, and that's exactly what happens. It
Yes.
resets a timer in us. It's almost like waiting in line. You ever waited in line and sometimes you're like, oh, this line is moving pretty quickly,
Right.
but you had to wait 5 minutes. But maybe it seemed quick because maybe you strike up a conversation with someone in line, or maybe it's a steady pace that you're moving forward,
Right.
and you're like, oh, it's not so bad. But when you're just stagnant and you're not moving, and you're like, oh man, and no one's paying you any attention. You're all in your head. You're like, what's taking forever? And maybe you've only been standing in line for 2 minutes. And so it's in our brain, it's what's between these two ears that gives us that comfort, whether it's stocks, whether it's anything, you know? And so uh, that's something that we have to be aware of within ourselves, and find that almost uh, inner peace to say, hey, it's okay, it's all good. Uh, I might have won, right? If I went to the casino and won $1,500, I might have won today. But let me take, like you say, take stock of what happened. They owed. I was due.
Yeah.
I I should have won this 2 months ago.
Yeah. It's like it's with the sports thing too. Like, oh, I won $200 today on this game. It's like, bro, but you lost like the last 7 weeks. You know what I mean? Like, and I think our mind does that to us. I think